The Transformers as a brand is owned by Hasbro, but the concept of a toy that transforms is not. Every year there are different toy brands that tackle the transformation gimmick, and in this video I'm going to talk about a bunch of them. What's good, internet? Jake here. Dumb as ever, and about a year ago I started my series on Transformers that are not Transformers. I was recently watching the original video and realized how bad it is. I will always love the video and appreciate it for what it did for my channel, but I wanted to remake it and recover the topics now that I have so much more experience making these types of videos. If you've watched that original, I hope you stick around for this new, much more enjoyable version with a ton of new research and info, and if you enjoyed this video and want even more Transformers content, I have a whole playlist dedicated to it. And please like and subscribe to help me out with the king of YouTube, Al-G Rhythm. In 1978, the final LEGO patent expired, meaning any company can make LEGO-style brick toys. One of the companies was called Ritvic Holdings, who created large building blocks for younger children called MegaBloks in 1985. This wasn't a market that LEGO was tackling, so MegaBloks was capitalizing on a completely different demographic. Ritvic did eventually dip into smaller LEGO-style products and promptly got sued by LEGO. Ritvic actually won the lawsuit though because of LEGO's expired patents. Eventually, the Ritvic Holdings name was changed to MegaBloks as the toys became more and more popular. Let's fast forward a bit. LEGO and MegaBloks battled in the toy aisle for many years, with MegaBloks having its own unique innovations like the Dragons line that combined action figures and building toys, and super articulated minifigures. LEGO was also innovating, with their new theme Bionicle being a smash hit. So much so, it's often credited with saving the company from bankruptcy. MegaBloks obviously noticed the success, and in 2008 offered their own line of construction figures called Neo Shifters. Neo Shifters were very similar to Bionicle, being built out of large, specialized pieces. These toys had a few gimmicks, but their main one was the ability to transform into a
ball.
I mean, obviously I'm reminded by Bo-Rock in this instance, though the Neo Shifter's ball form is implied to be a simple spaceship. It kinda reminds me of the Bayverse protoforms. The second big gimmick is the small robots that transform into an even smaller ball form and can plug into the larger robot's chest. I can't tell if the smaller robot is like a pilot or like an R2-D2 style buddy. I feel like the commercial implies both robots are sentient, but who knows. So these robot figures are neat, but it's a bit of a copy and paste situation with the sets, which is exactly like Bionicle, so fair enough, I see the logic. Lore-wise, the only thing I could find is this comic book, thanks to Miss Morta Nui on the TTV channel forums that posted about Neo Shifters and linked this comic book. The lore in this comic book is kinda wild. Apparently, on this planet called Hydrax, the aliens that live there made leaps and bounds in technology thanks to a water-based power source. So these aliens just sent out hella satellites, like a stupid number of satellites. I don't really know why, they just did. Besides the satellites, they were also working on an artificial viral life form, which gets launched into space and intermingles with the satellites and water-based power source and accidentally creates new life on another planet where all this crap lands for some reason. These new life forms called Neos use large robot shells called shifters to get around and also synthesize energy out of water. The planet that the Neos landed on runs out of water, so an evil subset of Neo Shifters called Templars go to Hydrax to take all their water and be really wasteful with it, I guess. The Neo Shifters that stay behind are the Paladins, and they resolve to stop the Templars from attacking Hydrax or any other planet. The comic ends with the Paladins sending a distress signal that reaches the worst alien species of all, gamers. All of this lore is a bit silly and really overcomplicated, but it did answer my question from earlier, as it appears the little robot does pilot the big robot, but the big robot is also the small robot in a way. It's kind of like if humans could take out their hearts and run around as the heart. The toys themselves were pretty cool, but unfortunately the plastic quality is poor and the toys often break. Something completely new I found out while researching is that there were also vehicle sets for the Neos, like this quad pod or the Turbofly, which is my favorite looking one. I love these vehicles and they remind me of the later waves of Bionicle that had large vehicle sets. Also, there was the whole Hydrax playset featuring this dome-shaped set where you could store shifters in. The set had little seats for Neos to sit in and a bunch of spheres that would roll around the set. Also, is that just deadass a Zammer sphere launcher? And isn't that a Rotuka spinner? And isn't that Takua? Yeah, Neo shifters definitely had a lot, maybe a little too much Bionicle influence. But it really didn't feel like a ripoff and totally has its own charm. Sadly, the same year Neo shifters launched, 2008, MegaBloks somehow lost $400 million, which isn't great. After passing hands a few times, MegaBloks now exists as Mattel's building brick line called Mega Constructs. I wouldn't be surprised if we never saw Neo shifters again, but it was a cool line nonetheless. Chinese toy company 52 Toys has been making a name for themselves in the last few years with their incredible BeastBox line. BeastBox is a line of transforming toys that feature animals that transform into, well, boxes. Yeah, all these guys just transform into cubes, which feels a little silly to say out loud. But the thing about BeastBox is that while the alt mode of being a cube is simple, the transformation from the cube into beast mode is always interesting, and each animal offers clever solutions to the puzzle that is their transformation. BeastBox has a great aesthetic, with cartoony animals mixed with Zoids. I love the use of translucent plastic as well. I'm just a sucker for that stuff thanks to Transformers Energon. I own a few BeastBox figures, one of which being Echo Blaster, who is a parrot. This dude has so much personality, and the way his wings work is awesome. You're able to get so many good poses, which can be a struggle with bird types of toys sometimes. I absolutely adore the translucent blue plastic this guy uses. It reminds me of PS2 controllers from back in the day. Most BeastBox toys come with this clear little box you can store your BeastBox in. Echo Blaster actually came with an extra piece that lets you stand him on top of the cube, which is really nice. The transformation is a little tough to remember, but once he's all put together, he makes for a fine cube. Finally, Minecraft Transformer. As far as BeastBox goes, Echo Blaster is pretty standard, but there are some truly interesting transformations like Ice Cube. Ice Cube is a cube that transforms into 4 individual penguin robots, each with a card suit assigned to it, which is very cute and could be a reference to 52 Toys itself because there are 52 cards in a deck. Not only is one cube made out of 4 penguins, they can also change their pupils so all of your penguins have individual personalities. There are so many BeastBox toys at this point, and they all look so cool. Another crazy release is their Alien collab figure, which not only features a xenomorph, but also comes with a face hugger, and not only that, it also comes with an egg that has a chest burster in it. They somehow fit every form of the xenomorph into a single toy. I'm legit flabbergasted, and also they all fit together in cube form, which is so awesome. But BeastBox isn't the only thing 52 Toys has been cooking. They also made 2 spin-off series called InfinityBox and BeastDrive. InfinityBox is very similar to BeastBox, with the main difference being the type of things the cubes turn into. There are still plenty of creatures, but they tend to be mythical Chinese creatures, like this dope turtle with the snake for a tail. InfinityBox also has cubes that turn into vehicles like planes and race cars. I love this giant motorcycle vehicle. I feel like this would be a dope alt mode for Blur or Cheetor. I also really like the Formula 1 car that's sporting 6 wheels. These 2 cars can combine into a pretty awkward looking robot, plus they still turn into boxes. Thank God. What I'm super interested in though is BeastDrive, which is a line of toys that features animals that turn into vehicles. In my opinion, this line is easily their most interesting and feels like a natural evolution of BeastBox. BeastDrive has only been around for a bit, so we can actually talk about all of the toys, starting with the first release, Wheel Raptor, a sports car that turns into a Raptor. Every BeastDrive figure comes with an adorable pilot figure, which I love. Wheel Raptor was repainted and remolded into a purple version called Naughty Soar, which I bought. While BeastBox toys come complete in package, BeastDrive actually requires some model kit style assembly. Don't worry, this isn't a full model kit. It's more like decorating the skeleton of the toy, which makes sense and makes me kind of surprised there aren't even more repaints. It would be pretty easy for them to do that. I bought Naughty Soar because I liked his purple purple and orange color scheme, and I low-key just realized he might be called Naughty Sore as a reference to Halloween. The build experience was fine, and I like that I was able to attach all the pieces without fully transforming the kit. I do think you should probably have a pair of cutters ready, because snapping the pieces out by hand left a lot of plastic blemishes on the figure. Once completed, the vehicle mode is surprisingly small, but he looks really cool and rolls really well, which always makes me happy. I think it's really cool that there's barely any dinosaur kibble as well. Really, it's only his arms and head that are identifiable dinosaur pieces. I absolutely love the little dinosaur pilot he comes with as well. It really inspires my imagination. Like, maybe this is a Metabots or a Real Steel situation where robots are operators in sports in the place of humans. The transformation is simple, but not too simple. It makes for a fun fidget toy that isn't too much of a hassle to transform. The dinosaur mode is just pure aura, man. Holding him and messing with him is just super fun. The only things I would have liked are an ankle tilt and maybe a longer tail. Like, it's an okay length, but I would have liked a couple more segments to the tail articulation. I also really love how the car wheels end up on his feet, so you can kind of have him roller skate, which I always like. Overall, this figure is super fun and awesome, and I may have accidentally gotten myself addicted to another toy line. If you want to see my full unboxing and first impressions of the toy, I posted a members only video for the $1 tier members and above. Memberships are easily the best way to support me past subscribing, and I've been posting a lot of toy hauls and also uploading gaming videos and unboxings like this, so if any of that interests you, check it out. The next BeastDrive figure that was released is Hydro Bullet, a jet that transforms into a shark. The pilot is, of course, a fat little shark. So adorable. Hydro Bullet was repainted and remolded into a hammerhead shark version called Abyss Sweeper. As you can see, there's obviously a pattern to these releases, with each kit being sold twice with different pieces. The next is Space Springer and Skytail, who are spaceships that turn into a rabbit and squirrel respectively. The vehicle mode reminds me a lot of the Guardians of the Galaxy spaceship. I have to say it's super impressive to me how different they can make these toys, like how they gave Skytail a whole big squirrel tail, something not present at all on the rabbit. The most recent set of normal size figures are Drive Tyranno and Lightning Lizard. Drive Tyranno is very obviously meant to be a pterodactyl type of dinosaur that turns into a sports car, while Lightning Lizard looks more like a dragon of some kind. Out of the two, I really vibe with Lightning Lizard's look and color scheme. He just jumps out to me way more. The final BeastDrive figure is a truck that turns into a massive gorilla called Cyclops. The reason I bought Naughty Sore is because I wanted to buy Cyclops so bad, but couldn't quite justify dropping $70 out of nowhere. But god, he looks amazing. As a Transformers fan, it's very funny to me that he is a truck that turns into a gorilla. Because when Beast Wars came out, the fans of the original show were so mad about the fact that Optimus turned into a gorilla instead of a truck that they would complain about it constantly online. Other fans were annoyed by this trend and started mocking the G1ers with the phrase "truck not monkey" as a way to make fun of their complaints. So all these years later, having a truck and a monkey in one toy is pretty funny, and it really helps that this toy looks amazing. The truck mode is huge and can house a BeastDrive vehicle in its trailer with room to spare. You can also remove the trailer and just have a big old truck cab. Gorilla mode is just as amazing and looks so imposing and awesome. I love the color choices of the dull teal and the orangish yellow. The gorilla mode is highly posable as well, and his trailer turns into these giant jackhammer weapons. I also love his head sculpt with the one giant eye. He kinda reminds me of a Zaku from Gundam. It would be so cool if they made a tank that turns into a giant T-Rex as his rival. BeastDrive is a young line, so I definitely recommend grabbing some of these figures now because I don't see 5.2 toys slowing down on the line anytime soon. BeastBox, InfinityBox, and BeastDrive are all excellent toy lines, and I'm glad we have a company like 5.2 Toys around that keeps on innovating on the transforming toy genre. Believe it or not, I only watched the original Jurassic Park trilogy for the first time a couple years ago. Until then, the only Jurassic Park media I had seen was the Jurassic World movies, and for some reason Jurassic Park 3. I have no idea why, but I always felt like Jurassic Park 3 was playing on TV, but not the first or second movie. Anyways, while a Jurassic Park video is on my list, because what on earth is this, I wanted to talk about a subline of JP toys that inspired me to create a video in the first place, Fierce Changers. Released in late 2023, Fierce Changers is a line of transforming dinosaur toys, which I always think is a good idea. The toy line came in 3 size classes, with these little eggs called hidden hatchers being the smallest. I honestly think dinosaur eggs that turn into little adorable baby dinosaurs is kind of a slam dunk idea. Even this little abomination gets to be adorable as a hidden hatcher. This line seemed to do the best out of the 3 I'm going to talk about today, since it has the most releases. They even did a line where an eye is printed on the outside of the egg to simulate the baby dinosaur peeking out of its egg. The look of these dinosaurs really reminds me of the Snap Squad, a line of figures that feature little baby Funko Pop dinosaurs with really tight jaw hinges that you could attach to your backpack and stuff. I think Snap Squad was a great little line, and I'm kinda sad I missed it. And the hidden hatchers using a similar aesthetic is awesome. Oh wait, I did exactly 1 more second of research and found out that the Snap Squad is back, kind of, in the form of Mighty Little Biters. I feel like Snap Squad was a better name personally, but look, they made a Spinosaurus. I will be purchasing this. My favorite hidden hatchers are the Indoraptor because I am one of its 12 fans, and the Paralophosaurus because I like his silly head. It's also nice to see Giganotosaurus show up. I love the way all of their torso pieces spin around and reveal the spine of the dino. I guess my main criticism of hidden hatchers is that they all have the same transformation. I kinda wish they ventured out of theropods and gave us some ceratopsians or pterosaurs. The next toys are called Double Dangers and have a gimmick of switching from a herbivore dinosaur to a carnivore. There's 2 sizes of these guys. The smaller one is close in size to the basic Jurassic World figures, while the larger ones are closer to a medium-sized dinosaur. Mattel doesn't have size classes like Transformers. I'm doing my best, okay? Though different sizes, the transformation for these toys are all basically the same, with you flipping one head out of the body while storing the other head. Basically every transformation is flipping the dinosaur upside down. These are definitely my least favorite Jurassic Park Transformers. It's a decent idea, a good one even, but the transformations are so mid, and both dinosaur modes tend to look weird. The bigger ones have like 2 extra steps generally, but the increase in size and price does not directly translate to increase in complexity. I do like this evil looking Brachiosaurus though. It makes me kinda wish they made an evil hybrid herbivore like a Triceratops or something. I guess Therizinosaurus is kinda like a herbivore villain dinosaur, but they fumbled that in the movie in my opinion. The last transforming Jurassic Park toy I want to talk about is the Chase and Roar T-Rex, a large Tyrannosaurus Rex toy that can transform into a dinky Jurassic Park Jeep. I'm going to be so for real, this thing is rough, man. Let's talk dinosaur because oh my god, no way. Look at that leg kibble, man. The T-Rex is practically standing on it for balance. And by the way, this T-Rex has seen some shit before. I guess your bones crunching down into a Jeep does some stuff to your mental health. The transformation is so panel heavy. If you're not a Transformers fan, a Transformer with a lot of panels for their transformation can make it really annoying. Some can do it tastefully like Origin Wheeljack here, and this Jeep Rex is a prime example of how to do a panel heavy transformation completely wrong. The entire transformation is folding panels over dinosaur parts, which is not only boring but can be super frustrating when you have to line up and connect a ton of panels, creating less of a puzzle and more of a fiddly mess. The Jeep mode is much worse and very goofy looking with a much too small hood and wheels. Thanks to the transformation, the Jeep doesn't even seem to be that solid, even though it's a big giant truck, which should be fun. Overall, I think the Fierce Changers line is a really interesting experiment, and I kinda want them to keep working at the Hidden Hatchers line because I think those toys have the most potential. Digimon, Digital Monster, Digimon were dope as hell, man. I mean, they still are, but they were too. For those who don't know, Digimon started out as V-Pets, just like Tamagotchi, but were marketed towards boys with dragon and dinosaur monsters instead of silly cute ones. Though there are hella cute Digimon. As a kid, I watched season 2 and 3 the most because of my age, and brother, that show was fire. I never watched season 1 much as a kid, but Lord Almighty, Digimon the movie was all I needed to love those characters in Digimon. I've probably watched Digimon the movie 4 gazillion times, and even bought the VHS as an adult to relive my childhood nostalgia. Though, to be honest, I kinda never stopped watching it because it was free on YouTube for many years. Recently though, it's been harder to watch on YouTube because they did a whole remake dealio, which I also own. Unfortunately, I don't own a Blu-ray player, so I can't really watch the new version at the moment. I was hoping it would come with a digital version, but that sadly isn't the case. So as a kid, I didn't even know Digimon were originally V-Pets. I just knew them from the movie, my Digimon video game, and the toys. Digimon toys were so sick back in the day because they transformed. To my kid self, these toys really are the OG Transformers that are not Transformers. I was like, is this allowed? Now, these are pretty old toys, so the engineering isn't always amazing. I found that Digimon who make less of a change tend to be the better toys, like this Greymon to Metal Greymon toy. It's actually so impressive how the metal pieces come out, and I especially love that Greymon's original tail becomes Metal Greymon's wings. And there's a second secret tail revealed during the transformation. Also, quick note, Metal Greymon is easily my favorite OG Digimon design. The metal helmet and arm, the sick purple wings, and I've always found him growing hair to be oddly cool. I also always loved how their voices and sometimes personalities would change when they digivolved. Like Greymon would all of a sudden become British or Australian when he became Metal Greymon. Most of these figures have a bit of an Animorphs problem, where you're just twisting fleshy creatures into new forms, but it's not as bad with Digimon for me personally. One toy I had as a kid was the warped Digivolving Agumon to War Greymon figure. This was a special one to me as a kid because I only had one Digimon Season 1 VHS from the show, and the episodes on it included the Warped Digivolutions, which I thought were so cool as a kid. I loved the 3D animation they used to represent the Digivolution. It's just pure 90s/2000s rawness. I'm also severely affected by Wizardmon's death because of that VHS, but we don't have to talk about that today. The Agumon to War Greymon toy is kind of incredible even by today's standards. Both modes look great. I love Agumon's big ol' head. War Greymon looks almost perfect, though one of my favorite parts of his design is the shield on his back, which looks like Agumon's big head due to transformation. The toy was so good that years later Bandai would remake it as the first figure in their Digivolving Spirits line. In 2017, Bandai would revitalize the Digivolving toy concept with their Digivolving Spirits line, starting with Agumon to War Greymon, which had some slight alterations to the original toy, but mostly keeps the same transformation scheme. I think the original Agumon looks way better, to be honest, but I think the Digivolving Spirits War Greymon looks better than the original. This makes sense to me because they were probably prioritizing the Agumon mode back in the day because he was like the flagship character, but in the modern day fandom, War Greymon is much more desired as a design. The Digivolving Spirits line is so dope, man. This toy line gave us an amazing Diaboramon figure, as well as this pretty much perfect Tentomon. I love Tentomon, man, and I love Mega Kabuterimon, a big Hercules beetle with an exposed rib cage and the personality of Hulk Hogan. Unfortunately, the line ended in 2019 with the release of Black War Greymon, so they never even finished the original Digidestined, which is unfortunate because I would have loved to see some Season 2 and 3 Digimon. Speaking of Season 3, oh my god, it's peak. Easily one of the best shows I watched as a kid, and the tone is so much darker than the first 2 seasons. It's funny that it's even considered Season 3 at all, since it appears to be set in a different universe. That would be like if I called Transformers Armada like Transformers Season 7. I love all the main Digimon in Season 3, but my favorite is Gargomon, a rabbit with Gatling guns for hands that wears pants.
Now.
He was featured heavily in the movie, and I was so happy to see they included him in Season 3 as well, and I loved his toy so much. This is definitely one of the Digimon toys that has aged poorly. Gargomon is basically carrying Rapidmon on his back, and neither mode has much articulation. Sadly, after Season 3, we got Digimon Frontiers, which is not a show I like very much. Totally cool if you like it, but when the kids became the Digimon, I thought it was pretty lame, and I much prefer the dynamic of kids and their partner Digimon. I also didn't care for many of the designs. Like, I'm sorry, there's no way Agunarmon is cooler than Agumon, Vmon, or Guilmon. The whole thing about the kids becoming Digimon is them finding these little trophies. So of course the Digivolving toys for this line turn into those. Awesome, I love when my transforming toy turns into literally nothing. They also have these hybrid Digivolving toys that featured very ugly humans that you could equip with armor. In an effort to not seem like a total hater, I will say Burning Greymon and Magna Garurumon are baller designs. After Frontiers, Digimon really fell off, especially in the toy department. The last Digimon toys on the shelves that I can actually remember are the toys for Digimon Fusion, a show I watched a bit when it came out. Honestly, I have a lot of the same issues with Fusion as I do Frontiers. They messed with the formula too much, and the fusion mechanic of the show wasn't nearly as interesting to me as just plain Digivolving. The toy line was really weak too, only lasting a single wave. These toys were really lame because you had to buy at least 2 to have any fun, because the whole gimmick is combining the toys in different ways. The combination gimmick kinda reminds me of LEGO's CCBS system, which is interesting. Unfortunately, the well for transforming toys has kind of dried up, and in general, Digimon merch and relevance in the West has also dried up, even though Japanese shows like Digimon Ghost Game continue to come out today. I do have to mention the card game, which I have played and collected cards for, because it seems like the main thing getting Western audiences into Digimon at this point. I would love to see a Digimon show brought over with a new toy line. I feel like there's still so many stories you could tell, and Digimon designs never get old to me. Like, where else can you watch a rabbit with pants and machine guns for arms fight another bigger rabbit? Nowhere! It was great to go back and redo this segment from the first video because Digimon is one of my 3 sacred hyperfixations along with Bionicle and Transformers. I wish I could be this passionate about everything I talk about. Woof, I really did not realize how much I missed in that first video. I'm really glad I ran through this stuff again. It was kind of therapeutic to see how much I've grown. I'm going to replace the original video in my Transformers playlist, so if you haven't gone through that yet, I really recommend it. Like I said earlier, the best way to support me is through memberships. Picture it like this: becoming a member for just $1 a month is supporting me as much as if you watched one of my videos like 300 times, with ads, which is crazy. This year I've been saying I'm trying to hit 100k subscribers, which is an insane goal, but we're already at 43k and January isn't even over yet, so I'm excited to see if we make it. I think we can. I'm going to keep doing my part by making banger videos, so you do your part and like and subscribe. Alright, I'll see y'all next time. Ciao.